ఇది వస్తాండి ఇప్పుడు వస్తా
స్టార్ట్ అవుతాం అక్కడ పడతాను ఆ టైం. Good morning students. In this session we will discuss that is watershed management. Okay. Already we are discussed that the rain resources, groundwater resources. Okay. Today we will discuss about the watershed management. Watershed management. First of all, we will know about the definition of watershed management. What is watershed management, right? Here, water and shed. Shed means here this water is coming from the different lands and where the slopes, hill streams, riverines, so and so. Okay, that's why here this is this watershed is a geohydrological unit. Geohydrological unit of land that feeds on the water running under it and drains at a common point. And drains at a common point is known as watershed. Okay, watershed is a geohydrological unit. Geohydrological unit. So geo means geography. Okay, which is concerned with this total earth. Geography. And next one, the hydrological, where the water cycle is there. That's why here both are connected, interlinked with each other and forming the watershed. Right? Here the water is water, and next one is the shed. Here the shed management is nothing but it is a geohydrological unit of land that feeds off the water running under it and drains at a common point. Drains at a common point, which means here the definition, right? In this definition we are seeing that here this is watershed is a geohydrological unit. This is most important one. Geohydrological unit, and which is taking under the land and it's connecting the interlineation with the land under these hydrological cycles. Okay, for example, here the hill regions. Okay, these are the hill regions, and here some are the tributaries. Okay, some are the tributaries. Waterfalls, these are the tributaries, and here also the and the streams. Okay, these are the different type of tributaries. These tributaries and some streams where the rainfalls or fall down, right? These are the clouds, here the precipitation. Okay, first of all, you understand what is the watershed. Here the rainfalls, clouds and precipitations, and this water is under some streams. These are the streams, right now, under some streams. Wherever the streams and the tributaries and rivers and the water running off on the land, the surface of water or open water come and join with, okay, this is come and join with here also. Okay, and nearby here forms the watershed management. Okay, it is a pit which is collects the all of water into the ground area. Okay, this rainwater is collects and join into these regions. This is known as the watershed management. Okay, here the tributaries. These tributaries is also contain this water. and this water is also come and join with these regions, right? This is the watershed. The runoff water and the surface water, where the land erosion is, and based on the lands, the running water come and join in a particular area or a particular pond-like structure and a pit-like structure, which is completely fulfilled with these rainwaters. Or where the streams and where the tributaries, where the small lakes and where the riverines, okay, rivulets, all of these are come and join within a particular point in areas. These are called a common point. This is a common point. In the common point, all variant roots are coming and join with this water body. This is known about the watershed. Here, what is the watershed management? What is the size and what is the shape? Okay, what are the main properties or the components of these watersheds? Right now, here the watershed managements here, right? Management. Watershed, I am just writing short term, that is WS. The management here, which is completely related to these areas. Okay, that's the properties. For example, here the size. Based on their sizes, these a certain point of the feet, based on their sizes, they are up to 5 to 50,000 hectares. 50,000 hectares, right? Here are their kilometers, 50,000 hectare kilometers, or some 50,000 kilometers, right? Or somewhat we said that is an hectare in manners, okay? Right? And where the shape? What is the shape of these watershed management? For example, in first order streams, this is a first order stream, and where the second order stream, this is the second order stream. These both first order stream, hill stream regions, or how the streams are formed. Okay, this is a first order and this is a first order. Both first orders lakes or the streams are come and join with the form another point. This another point is known here. Okay, first and first. Both first and first come to join form as a second order. Second order streams. This is the second order stream. Here this is a first order stream. Here also first order stream. Right? Where the water area like this one, and here the water area like this one, and total the watershed area is complete this area. Now it is looks like a triangular shape, or it is in a pear fruit shape, or it is in a the shape of the watershed here, that is triangular or pear fruit shape. Alright, this is about the shape. And next one here, the watershed can be categorized into different stages based on the capacity, catchment area of these watershed. This is mainly categorized into forma, that is macro. This watershed mainly categorized into 5, that is macro units, and next one sub-macro, and next micro units, unit, okay, and next mini unit. Total 4 is there, here the macro means which are having the large units. Okay, this is up to the 10,000 to 50,000. Okay, greater than the 50,000 hectares. Where this is 10,000 to 50,000 hectares, and here the micro means with the thousands to 10,000 hectares, and here these 100 to 1000 hectares regions which is considered as in the watershed, where they are categorized into based on the water catchment areas. These are categorized into these 4 units. And next one, ma, these watersheds. What are the main objectives of these watersheds? And what is the next? After completion of their size, shape, and the water catchment of area, they can divide it. And what is the slope? Here the slope is also important. The slope is, alright, ma, slope. Here the slope control the rainfall distributions and managements or movements. Distributions, the rainfall distributions and movements are controlled by the slope. Rainfall movements, control and distributions. Control and distributions are depend upon the slope. And if the hill region have high slope area, the water drops can't stay on the hill regions. For example, this is the slope area. This is the slope area. When we are compared with this and this, here which one is high slope? This is the highest slope area. This is slow slant. Okay, but here runoff, the water drops. Right? That's why the slope controls the rainfall distribution and their movements. Slope movement is the main function is to controlling the rainfall movements and their water distribution. And next one here, that is the special property of this watershed management. We are discussing about this climate. This is one of the most important factor, that is climate. What is the changes? Okay, in our India, the different type of tropical areas or the temperatures, the climatic condition is also vary in state to state. That's why it decides the the climate decides the in terms of the proper approaches. Okay, the climatic conditions, variable changes are occurs in the climatic seasons. For example, now the season is rainy season. In the rainy season, the rainfalls are vary based on the monsoons, based on the monsoon. For some other drought areas is there, they are completely depend upon these monsoons. If the monsoons are not reaches in a proper or appropriate time, the people can get drought conditions, right? And some where it is very nearer to the oceans or the monsoons are come and reaches very close. For example, the Kerala and Chennai and these Bay of Bengal regions, which are located the Kolkata, Pachim Bengal area, Assam. Okay, these are the states which are always face a high waterfalls, high rainfalls or come under disturbing them with the water disaster like. Okay, now this is about the climate. And where the draining. If the draining determinants, okay, the draining is determines how the characteristics and erosions behavior. The drain or draining, okay, if the rainfalls are falling in heavy, the surface layers of the soil will erode by the flowing of the running water, isn't it? Okay, that's why we also lost some fertility soil from the top of the layers of the soil or the earth and vegetation, where some of the high rainfalls or high runoff water is drained. These vegetations are inhabited which are live in very close or very nearer to these water bodies. Okay, they are all the break their vegetations. Either it is a forest, either it is any crop yields, or it is a living on a small villages where the tribal areas especially, these are completely dip into the water. Their vegetation is breakdown. Okay, these are the simple structures about the properties or the characteristics of the watershed management. And for example, some floods are also come. Okay, floods. For example, in Kedarnath to Haridwar. Okay, here the Beas river is there. In the Beas, the very floods have come, and different high standard structures or the what we say, the buildings also be drawn, right? And next one, what is the objectives of the watershed management? Right, ma? Watershed is an geohydrological unit. How these watershed form? Different type of the streams and the tributaries. They are taken up the water, rainwater, and the rainwater is also run from the surface of water. They all are run up and join between a certain point. This certain point is known as the watershed. Okay, here watershed shape is and looks like a triangular or pear fruit shape, and where the size is based on their size, they are divided into the macro, sub-macro, and micro, and many units of the watersheds. Okay, and where the slope also be controlled, so the movements of the rainwater and the distribution of the rainwater is also be controlled by this slope. Okay, and next one is the climatic condition. These climatic conditions shows more and more effect on the watershed. If the rainfalls or the monsoons are coming in a proper time, the watersheds or the pits which have a particular point of area is filled with the water, the catchment area will be increases and the water will be present in all time. Some water pits are drained in the dry times where the summer seasons. Okay. What are the objectives of these watershed? Objectives of watershed management. Okay, here what is the objectives? Let us discuss the objectives. Right now, the objectives are simply here soil and water conservation. The first point is soil and water conservation. And with the second objective, soil and water conservation is the first one. But the second objective is rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting. Next, another important objective, that is the employment of the rural areas or the next generation. Employment of the generation. Empowerment of the generation. Employment of generation. By the scheme is there, ma? The programs which are launched in different years. This watershed management is started in 1970s onwards, 1970, 1980, and every 10 years they are discussing some viewpoints and they are implementing some new schemes to developing of these watershed programs. Right? And here the employment generations have the name MGNREGA. MGNREGA. Okay, this is a special type of program which have an abbreviation. Later we will discussing what is what, right? And next is empowerment generations, ecological balance by growing greenness. Ecological balance by growing green plants. Green plants, right now. And next objective is in watershed management, increase farmers' income. increase farmers' income, which means their productivity, right? Income. And next here, after increasing of these farmers, moderate the floods. How we controlling the floods? Okay. And next, how hold the rainwater and water the plants to holding the water to increasing these ground levels. Okay. And next one is fuel, floods and timbers. Fuels. Next one is fodder, increasing the fodders, and next timber. Okay, and these are the importance in rural development, and they given an importance to this rural development. What are the steps? These objectives, okay, which we are discussing on soil water conservation now, where the runoff of water is very high speeds. The soil, okay, this is the land. The land is consistent of fertile layers. The soil can erosion by these fast movements of the water. That's why we grow on the open areas or open lands where the society forest is. Okay, that's why the open lands we must grow by the grassy plants, right? And that's why these grasses are have their root system to capturing of the water, and they can't leave of the surface layers of the soil, which is the soil erosion can be conserved. Soils and water conservation. Here the running of water go and joined with the big oceans. Okay, that's why the ocean water is not used for our needs. And next the rainwater harvesting, where the watershed management is formed by the rainwater. This rainwater can hold in a proper manner, and we have construction some special type of storage tanks. Okay, later we will discuss the process of this rainwater harvesting. And another one is the employment generations. In the employment generations, the rural area people, they are completely depend upon the monsoon areas. Okay, if there is any rainfall occurs, then only the farmer can do their practices on the agriculture craftlands. There is no monsoons or rainfalls occurs in that area, the people can get suffer, and there is no employment and there is no income to the old people in the rural areas. Next one is ecological balance. Ecological balance means here the ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, these are more important to live with the another organisms, which are we depend upon each and every organisms, either directly or indirectly. Okay, that's why the ecological balance is most important. Some of our older people are believes that the forests or the green plants are the mothers of rivers. Why? Because if there is a high greenery is there, then only the rainfalls are falling in a proper times, right? And increasing the farmer income. If the water is hold down in a proper manners, or which they are contained in a source, where there are storage source are developing in a proper manner, these are utilizing by the farmer, and they can get a good productivity from the crops. And next, moderate floods. High floods are coming in the rainy seasons. Okay, these floods can damages our economical status. Okay, our economical status. Either it is on a village level, state level, district level. Okay, what is the situation is there? These floods can destroy our economic conditions. That's why we can establish or we can starting for the constructions of the check dams. And next one, the fuel for timber will be increases. Timber, that is the fuels. Okay, some fuels, jet power plants and the biodiesel plants which are growing in social forestry, which is also important. And fodder were the timbers, the plants. And in social forestry, we just plantations and leave it there to grow and depend upon the raining seasons. Okay, these are the objectives of in the watershed management and the importance in rural development. This watershed importance in rural development is to supplying a good drinking water. Right now, supplies the rural areas to drinking water sufficient, good quantity and quality of water will be supplied by the rural area people. This is one of the important point in the rural development by the watershed management. And next one, the irrigation water. Where the canals are fulfilled with this water can utilized by their irrigation purpose. That's why the farmer can get a good profits from their crop yields. And next one, groundwater table will be increases. Right now, the groundwater level will be increases when we are maintain the watershed in a proper manner. Which means here when we in our land farming area, okay, at the end of the area or the any corner we maintain a pit, okay, water pit. This water pit catches so much of running of water waters and fulfill with this pit, and it slowly increasing the groundwater levels, and next one is the decreases these floods. The floods movements can be slowly where we are constructed the dams, okay, the check dams or the reservoirs, a large capacity holding of the water with a million gallons of water will be holding, just like the Kaleshwara project and the Sri Ram Sagar project. Okay, these projects can hold the rain waters and they are slowly reducing the floods, right? And next, increasing employment in rural area where the rainfall season occurs in particular times, and the climatic or also supports to the rural areas, or without any trapped area will also be developed by these water resources. Okay, for example, you see people, the most of industrials are established on very nearer to these water bodies, right? These industrials and these farmers, agriculture fields, non-agriculture farms also dependent on the watershed. Water, using of this water. Why? Because here the animal husbandry is there. The animals are most depend upon this water to drinking purpose, to cleaning purpose. Okay, right. And here increasing the sericulture and mulberries plantations. Sericulture is one of the good resource to the farmers. Okay, that's why there must plantations of these mulberries. Mulberries need a less waters and in a proper manners. That's why the watershed can useful to in rural areas. The rural area can development, the growing of their development by using of these methods. These are the importance of rural areas. Watershed importance in rural area developments. And next one is the increase in fertile lands. Which lands are completely dependent or so growing on these watershed programs.